There we go. Okay, can you hear me now? That was weird. Hopefully, you hear me. Yes? No? Okay, I see Laura Isom is watching. Hello, hello, Cher. Oh, from your craft room. That's awesome. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear. Somebody could let me know. That would be awesome. Can you hear me? Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Cynthia. I had this weird little thing I had to push to make the sound go, which has never been there before, and all of a sudden this is weird. Okay, let's get rid of that. I was talking, but nobody was answering. Okay, good. Thank you. Woohoo! Okay. Facebook had to add some new silly thing because, apparently you need to turn the sound on now instead of it being automatic. Crazy. I don't know why you would even want to upgrade like that, but whatever. It'd be nice if they would send out like a little thing. Oh, by the way, we've made these changes and this is how you fix them because we screwed it up. Okay. All right. So, last reminder here, bonus days is coming to the end. You have until February 16th to earn your $5 bonus coupons with every $50 that you spend. And then beginning February 3rd, you can start redeeming those bonus coupons. They'll come in your email, so be sure to keep that email because I don't get it and I don't have those codes. All right, so bonus days coming to an end. Well, the earn period. January product of the month, the Fabulous Savings stamp set is still available. I'm assuming, I didn't even really go look there. Let me go look. Let me look real quick. Yep, it's not showing out of stock. So that's the January product of the month. With a $75 purchase, you can get the Fabulous Saying stamp set for $5. And then we have a new tool. And we have an exclusive joining offer coming on February 3rd. It'll go through March 2nd. If you're a demonstrator right now, you can order the Stampin' Positioner tool so that your customers will be able to see it. And then they'll know if they're interested. Okay, so of course I had to order it so we could all take a peek at it. This is called the new Stampin' Positioner. It comes not like this. This is not on here. It comes like this. You've got this base plate, has little springy feet, pegs here, ruler. Then you've got your top plate that sits on these two little things here. And then you push this down to make it work. And then if you want to use some smaller things and do some cool things, then you take this piece and you put it on any two of these little pieces here, and this becomes your stamper. And the nice thing about this is that you can put this on, stamp, move it up, stamp, move it up, stamp, and just keep going until you run out of little pegs. Okay? Now, it also comes with two magnets. These magnets have little tabs so you can lift them up easily. Okay? If they go together, they don't break, and you can easily pull them apart because you have the little tabs. Okay? So we've got that. And then Stampin' Up! Came out with some grid paper to go on here. This side's pretty messy, so you don't want to see it. And it has little holes that go in these little pegs. So you just run that down there, and then your grid paper will stay put and won't keep moving on you. Okay, got that. And these are the pieces. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. That will be the join offer in starting February 3rd. Stampin' Up! Will automatically add this stamp positioner tool to your starter kit for free. Absolutely free. Okay, now if you don't want to join, this will also be available for purchase at a later date. Oh, and we've got foam on the back so that will sit pretty nicely and it's not going to scratch your table or anything. We are going to use this in a minute here. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. I went away. I'm glad you like it, Cynthia. So we're going to do two fun fold cards tonight. And we're going to start with our stamping. And because we're going to start with our stamping, I'm going to show you what I did. I did not do it with this stamp positioner tool because this stamp positioner tool just arrived today while I was out. So I did not get a chance to, well, I did use it some, but not for these projects because I did design them yesterday. All right, so what I did, I want to take a piece of 4 1/4. I'm just taking a quarter sheet of cardstock. Okay. Now, Stampin' Up! Says that if you're doing just regular individual stamping, they have designed this tool so that it has here in the center, it has 2 little pegs here in the center. These particular pegs are flat on the inside. Okay, the rest of these are totally round, but these 2 are flat. And then you have this little grid here for your paper. So when you put this in here and you put your paper in there, it lays flat against those little pegs. And this is how you get your paper to stay in place. Okay, that gives you your little thing. Okay, so what I did for mine on a stamp positioner, I wanted to stamp all of my, I'm using the Sweet Bugs bundle, which of course when I look tonight, it's not available until February 2nd. Of course, because I'm using it. Okay. If you were waiting for the 3 or for the banner sayings or most of the rest of the things, including adhesives and things, those have come back in stock. Okay, so I'm just going to take all of my little pieces that I need for my projects tonight that I'm stamping in Memento. And I'm just going to put them all on here. I'm going to give them a little bit of extra room so that I can get my dies around them. And then I'm just going to put that down there like that. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my top positioning tool. I want you to notice that my magnets are still right here. Right? They're still right. They're right here by my paper. Okay. I'm going to push that down and I'll pull that up. Now, because my stamps are all nice and clean, that kind of moved my paper. So I'm going to put it right back in that little corner. Okay, now I've got it ready to go. I'm going to grab my Tuxedo Memento Black ink. I'm going to ink all of these up. And I'm going to put this back down on here like this. They are not touching my paper, so I have time to do whatever I need to do. I can look at that and go, oh, yep, it's lined up, it's good. And then I just push it down. Okay? Then I'm going to lift that up. And there are all of my images all at once. Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside. And these are all of the pieces that I'm going to need for my project. And I'm going to set that aside for now. Okay. So what I really did ahead of time was I took a half a sheet of cardstock. I took all of my pieces from the Sweet Bug set and I put them down in this half, but I only put the two large ones. I put one of each here. And so I put them all down, stamped them, and then I turned my paper around and stamped again. That way I had two complete sets of images on half a sheet of cardstock. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and of course you can do that with the stamp positioning tool. You would just, let me bring that in. Instead of putting that at an angle, you would just put this on here like this, straight against those pegs. Oh, see, look, they went together. Straight against those pegs. Put that down to hold your paper. Put all your images, and then put your top plate on, and then stamp them all at once. Okay, so you could do that. You just wouldn't put it at an angle. That angle piece is also meant to help you do wreaths and things. And we'll dive more into this stamp positioning tool as we go. Not tonight necessarily, but in the future we will. Okay? Because I have to have time to explore a little bit more. I am going to show you some things that I did do earlier today. So we've got this. Now let's go ahead. Our first card is called a back bend card. Okay. And so we need these ants and this little bug here. So I'm going to quickly show you how I did these books, how I did these. So I'm not going to color them all because I don't need to, because of course I already did it. You saw the die cut thing. So I just took some light pumpkin pie there, and then I took a little bit of the light Cajun craze, and I just put a little bit along there, just to give that a little bit of a shadow, and then blended that in a bit. Okay, so we've got that. For our ants, we're using light smoky slate, dark smoky slate, and basic black. Okay, so for the heads, I'm going to do this middle one here. I used the light smoky slate. Oh, wait a minute. Before I did that, I actually took a little tiny bit of Flirty Flamingo and just gave him a little bit of a dot to put some color in his cheeks, like that. Okay, I like to do that beforehand. Let's see if I can show you the difference. Because sometimes when you do it afterwards, it gives you a weird blotchy thing. Okay, so we've got light smoky slate, and then we have light basic black, and I'm just going to put a little bit here, and run it along there like so. And then I'm going to go back with the dark smoky slate and blend that all together. And if you take and push out from your darker color, it blends a little bit nicer. Okay, so that's how I did all three ants. And then we've got this bug. And with him, I think with him on this one, I just tried to make him a little bit. I'm taking the dark smoky slate. I didn't want his head to be so dark. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go around the eyes and try and leave that like that. And then we'll do that. Okay. All right, so that's that. You guys, I used a lot of colors. Here's the colors that I'm using in my projects tonight. All of these. There's quite a few. There's quite a few. So here's some. This isn't even all of them. There's a whole nother tray. There were a few. Okay, so then we've got Dark Mossy Meadow. I'm going to put this along here. And then I'm going to go back with the Light Mossy Meadow. And we'll blend that in. Okay. For the bug's body here, I took Light Cajun Craze. I didn't want this to be incredibly dark, so I took the Light Cajun Craze, went around like so, left a spot. I'm going to go back, add in the Light Pumpkin Pie to give him a light spot in his belly. And then I'm going to go back and darken up just a little bit of that. Okay, so that's that. And then let's get the light gray granite. And for the light gray granite, I'm going to take and put just a little bit of the light gray granite on his wing. And then we're going to bring on Wink of Stella and give that some shimmer to make it look a little iridescent. Okay, and those are the pieces that we need for this card. Now there's matching dies in the Sweet Bug set that will cut all of these out. All right, so we've got one of each of those. So you would cut those all out, and then we're ready to make our card. Okay, so let's start with our card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score this at 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 3.5, and no, 1 1/4, 2.5. I did it wrong. 1 1/4, 2.5, and 5.5. I didn't math very good there. Okay, that's going to be on the back side, so I'm going to leave it. It's not really going to matter that much. Okay. All right. So for this, we're going to fold the smaller piece in, this one, okay? Then we're going to accordion fold there. Let's undo this fold. I should have done that, or this one right away. Let's undo that. I like to just put my take your pick tool back in here, flip it over and go back the other direction. And that sort of erases that score that we didn't need. Just a little tip for you. And then you can take your bone folder and further press that out. Now, pretty much get rid of my boo-boo. Okay, So we've got this and this. Now this piece here, we're going to fold this in because this is going to be the front of our card. All right. And then the next thing we need to do is we're going to glue this shut. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to take some liquid glue here. And I'm going to glue that closed. All right. So this is the mechanism for our card now. This will open and this will fold back. Okay. All right. Now we're going to need some designer series paper, or in my case, I went with the two-tone cardstock in soft seafoam, and then I used the Lovely Stripes embossing folder. Okay. So we've got that. And this piece is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this piece is 1 inch by 5 1/4. So I did mine. I'm going to put one where I have the light side here, and then I'm going to take the other one and use the dark side over here, which also is going to give me the embossed side and the debossed side. Okay, so I'm going to have different looks out of the same embossing folder, and my color is going to be two-toned, which is going to give me an extra cool effect, I hope. Okay, so I've got that. It's going to give that a gentle press. I don't want to press away my stripes, but I do want it to adhere. And then we're going to put this one down. Hope everybody had a good week. Excuse me. And we'll just put this here. Close that up to make sure those are semi-level there. Okay, so here's what we have so far on this card. And now we need our focal image, right? Okay. So for that, I've taken a piece of Mossy Meadow, and this piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. Then I took a piece of designer series paper from the Sweet Bugs, and this paper has some pretty cool stuff you can cut out of here, but here's the piece that I took that out of. It's designed to have multiple scenes for you, and then you just cut, and then you've got your scenes to use for whatever you want. Okay. Plus it has, you're going to see this in a minute on the next card, or on one of the cards that I made. You can fussy cut these images out, and then you have, of course, you have your two-sided. We're using this cardstock tonight, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then you've got the back. You've got two pieces that have this pattern in different colorways. And of course the backs are different. This one you can fussy cut. There's one of these sheets of paper. Let me find it real quick, if I can, that you can cut everything out of. Okay, of course I'm not going to be able to find it real quick because that's the way it is. That's the way things go, right? Can't find it when you're looking for it. Look at that mushroom paper. So beautiful. Okay, what did I do with the sheet you can cut? Must be this one. Oh yeah, it is this one. So most of these, you can cut this image, you can cut the ants, you can cut the book, ladybug, the beetle, this one. This you have to hand cut. These little group of mushrooms will cut out. The little flower will cut out with the dies. The bee will cut out. The watering can will cut out without the water. And there's just a lot of these images that if you get the dies, you can cut them with the dies. Okay, so let's move all this out and get going. All right. So I took this piece, and this is 3 inches by 4 inches. That's the way it's designed. And we're going to add this to our Mossy Meadow piece. Okay. And then we're going to bring in our bugs. Well, yeah, I guess we're going to bring in our bugs. Here's our little beetle. And here's our little ants. And I'm going to take my little beetle and I'm going to give him a glue dot on his bottom. I'm going to do the same thing with my ants. I'm putting the glue dot way at the bottom. Like that. And I'm just going to do that with all 4 of these. Okay. And then we're going to take some dimensionals. I'm going to use the minis for the ants. I'm going to stick them up at the top of their head here, and I'm going to cut one of these in half, or take a piece of the side for the flag. Actually, I think with this, the flag is so small, I need to cut a half. Just cut that right in half there. And then we'll put this little dimensional right there. Okay. And then for the beetle here, we'll just put one there and here. And again, I need a small little piece. So I'm going to take this piece I cut here, and I'm going to put that on his little horn, bugle, whatever he has. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our beetle on first. He's going to sit right here on this log, just like that. He sits pretty perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to take the bugler. I'm going to remove those backings. He's going to go first. I'm going to put him right about here. I'm not going to press too hard in case I need to move him. If you don't press too hard and you decide you need to move them, you can usually get them up. Okay. And then we've got the cute little guy at the back. Okay, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and give those a press. And I'm going to put a little bit of Wink Stella on that flag and the bugle, because we want that bugle to look like it's metal. Okay, so there is our focal piece. Let's go ahead and put this on, and then we'll add our sentiment. This card is almost done. So this is going to go like this, and if I glue the whole thing, then this card isn't going to open. What I really want to do is I want to put this on the left. That's where the back bend comes in. Okay, so I'm going to put this on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. This is the left side. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 little rows of tearing tape here. Actually, I should have probably used liquid glue because I didn't on my sample, because I didn't use, I used designer series paper instead of the embossing. Okay, I'm going to give that a good little press. Take that backing off, and hopefully this will hold well. And if not, I'll pull it off and put some liquid glue on. Okay, so then I'm just going to center this up. And if I've done it correctly, I'm not going to press that real hard because I want to make sure before I do it, okay, that I don't have any glue, and I don't. So now I can just take and fold this down. Give that a good little burnish. Okay, so that'll stick real nice. And this card is almost finished. Pretty easy fun fold, but it does pack a little bit of a wow. Let's get our sentiment. We're going to take some Cajun Craze ink. You guys, I hope my Cajun Craze ink works decently. I did not use a sentiment from the stamp set because they were too big for my design. So what I've done is I have pulled this hello from the Simply Said sentiment set. Okay, so this one right here. Now you could use the hello from Fabulous Sayings, the stamp of the month, but I'll show you, because this is what I used on the inside. This is quite a bit bigger, and it was bigger than what I wanted. So I already had these in my stash. So I found the one that was the size I wanted, and that's what I did. Okay, now I couldn't come up with a way to put that on that I was happy with. So what I ended up doing was I fussy cut it out, and I'm not going to make you watch me do that. And then I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to add this on where they'll fit, like so. And then I'm going to stick this right here. And yes, I could have stamped right on there, but I kind of like it popped up. Gives it a little bit of emphasis that way. All right, so now we have our inside layer and our gems left. So what I did for the inside layer was I took from Fabulous Sayings, You're on My Mind. Now, here's the important part. You want to stamp this a little bit low and to the right. And if you don't do that, then when you open this up, then you see that from behind. Okay, so if somebody wants to set that up, then you've got those pieces. So you want to be cognizant of that when you are stamping. You want to stamp more to the right if you're using a big sentiment like this. And then you want to make sure that your decorations here are above this. Because see here, you can see that sticking out. So I just made sure that I went a little bit bigger so that when I put this in, it won't show when the card is open. The layer is still there, but you can't see it's like a little surprise. Okay? So let's finish this up with a few gems. We're going to take the Moody palette dots, and I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. I have them both laying out somewhere. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow, or the Old Olive dots here. And those did not want to come off very good that way for me, so I'm going to take and do this. And then I'm going to put one large one up here. And take the small one that you can see I chased around the sheet. I'm going to put that down here. Come on. And then we'll grab another large Old Olive. And I'm going to put that right down there. Okay, and then when I'm happy with where they're at, I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and give that a good press. And there is our card. Now for the envelope, I pulled in the fluffy squirrel so that I could have the tree stump for the little beetle to sit on my envelope. Okay? So there you have it. That is card number 1. I hope you like that. And let's move on to card number 2. Okay? Now, this backbend card, I actually got the backbend card itself from Connie Stewart. It's all over the internet, but that's where I got it. But I didn't like her measurements, so I changed them. So these are the measurements I used. Everybody else has a more narrow border here and bigger here, but I didn't like that, so I changed it because I can, because it's my card. And you can too. All right, so for the next card, we're going to make a pop-out diamond fun fold card. Okay, I showed you guys that card on what not to do. Good. Okay, let's get this one out of the way. I have several cards with the next one, and I'm going to show those to you up front so I don't forget to show them to you, because I made several using this fold. So this is the first one that I made using Endless Love, which, by the way, is back in stock. If you were waiting for that, the photopolymer stamp set, it's back in stock. Okay? Okay, so we've got this. This is the fold that we're going to make. You can see the diamond, and it lays totally flat, and then it pops up. Okay? And it sits on your counter for display, just like so. So for this one, I used the Endless Love, and I had to use that little reading lady book. I actually made this one for my mom. She loves to read, and I'm going to send this to her. Okay, so this pretty much uses the Endless Love products. I didn't use any of the stamps, but I did use the dies because I love this. This is the ribbon from the suite and the designer series paper and that beautiful Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder. And then these little teeny hearts are also from that die set along with the arrow. Okay, the You Are Loved, I took that from my favorite little saying, or my little set here, Banner Sayings, and this is back in stock. The punch is apparently available. I went clear through and I didn't see that it was on the inventory status report. So I'm assuming that it's ready to go. So if it's something you've been waiting on, I would not wait, because the last time that was out and came back in, it was gone within a day. Okay, so if you've been waiting on that, you probably don't want to wait, and you can get your bonus coupon anyway. Okay, so let's put this one away. And then, okay, I'll put that away later. It doesn't want to go back in the bag easily. I made this card. And this is using the Sweet Bugs, the Cute as a Bug Designer Series paper. Okay, again, it's the diamond fold. This is where you put your message on the back. This is embossed with the all in a row. And then I fussy cut this out from the paper. This is also that same Designer Series paper. These little ferns are from the Label Me Grateful dies, which are on the last chance list. And then we're going to use these same gems, and I'll tell you what those are called when we do so. Okay, so I hope you like that. All right. So here is the actual card we're going to make now. Let's go ahead and pull out our products here. So of course we're using the Sweet Bug stamp set, dies, and the paper. I'm also using some two-toned petal pink cardstock, and we're using for this one I use the Stone and Vine 3D. The all in a row, it's so, when you need to cut it so narrow, it was hard to keep it straight. So I'm using the Stone and Vine. This is how that looks like on a full sheet. I love this folder. Okay, these are the pearlized faceted circles. Those are going to be our gems. Let me put those up there so I don't forget them. And then we're going to be using the Beautifully Celebrated dies. Now you can order this in a bundle and save yourself 10% off of the combined piece price when you use the bundle number. But I didn't get the stamp set. I only got the dies. All right. So here is our color palette. I'm using Mossy Meadow Soft Seafoam and Cloud Cover inks. Don't have that much for inks, for ink pads, because we have a lot of coloring. There was a lot of coloring. Okay. So we did the stamping ahead of time, right? So we had that, got the ladybug, and I have her colored. This is petal pink with pumpkin pie, a little bit of pumpkin pie, and the red here is the Poppy Parade. And then I did basic black and dark smoky slate for the body. Okay, so there's that. And then I die cut it with the coordinating die. In that die set, we have, I want to show you these. We have these standalone pieces. And so I've taken and stamped 2 of the large mushroom, or die cut, 2 of the large, 2 of the small. I did this all in basic white. And then there's this little die that has a butterfly, snail, and dragonfly. So I cut this. I think I cut it twice. Okay, so you'll need those pieces along with that ladybug die to cut the ladybug. Okay, I think that's everything. And I cut those all in basic white. Okay, everything went on basic white. And I'm going to show you what I did. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and put the card together pretty much, except for we do have to do this first, or in a minute. So let's get our pieces. So these two pieces, what I did was I took a piece that was 1 inch by 4 inches, and I put it in so that the two-tone light side was to be embossed, which means that the light tones sits. I turn my folder upside down like this when I put it in. Then I put the light side of the paper against the folder, close it up, and run it through my machine. Okay, I did that with a 1 by 4 strip, and then I cut it in half at 1/2 inch. Okay, that's the easiest way for me to do it. And you need 2 of those. Okay, then we've got 2 pieces for the back side that are 1/2 inch by 4 inches, or you could actually cut a 2-inch strip of this and then cut it in 1-inch strips, or 1/2 inch by 4-inch strips. Okay, but I chose to use the Designer Series paper. Then you're going to need 2 more pieces of that same piece of Designer Series paper, and these are each cut at 1 3/4 by 4, and I'm keeping them in order because that's how I want them to line up. And this is for stamping. And then you need 2 pieces of basic white, or whatever color coordinates with your card. And these pieces are each 3/4 by 1 inch. And then I have scored them in half at 1/2 inch. Okay, these are going to be the mechanism for our card. So 3/4 by 1 inch, scored at 1/2. Got that. Then you need 2 pieces of, I'm using thick basic white, and both of these are quarter sheets, so they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then we take and we put them in the scoring tool. Okay, and you're going to score them at 3/4 inch, 2 3/4 inch, then rotate that around and do 3/4 of an inch. Okay, that way if your paper's a little bit off on the sides, these 2 sides will be identical. Okay, and you need to do that with both of your basic white pieces. Okay, then we're going to take on the center fold here, that's the 2 3/4 inch, and we're going to fold that valley score into a mountain fold and give that a good press. Okay, do that with both pieces. All right, now for the 3/4 inch scores on each end, we're going to fold those the opposite direction. So we'll fold those up. Okay, so that when you're done, that's what your piece looks like. Okay, anybody seeing the flying nun here? I know I'm dating myself. Okay, so that's what we have here so far. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to try and lay this back out flat as I can. Okay, and on the insides of these, which means with the pointy that way, I want that right there, I'm going to put glue on one of these. Okay, and I want this to stay together really well. So this is going to take a lot of movement. I'm going to put some liquid glue here. I'm going to put some liquid glue here. Not getting carried away because I don't want that seeping out. All right, I'm going to set this one aside for just a second. I'm going to bring back in my scoring tool because it has a nice straight edged corner that has a deep well for me. I'm going to place this one with this bendy fold toward my scoring tool. I'm going to tuck that real tight up into that corner. Then I'm going to take this one with the bendy fold pointing up, and I'm going to lay that in there. Make sure everything is nice and square in that corner. And then I'm just going to fold that out flat. And then everything is lined up nice and tidy. Okay? Now, of course, if you want to, you can freehand it, eyeball it. This way I didn't have to think too hard. Okay, so there is now the base of my card. So now we can take, and I'm going to add on my designer series paper. I'm going to make sure that my pieces match up here, because that's what I like to do. If I'm going to have something next to each other, I like my patterns to match if at all possible. Now, do I occasionally mess them up and just go with it? Yep, I do. But if I can help it, I'm going to give it my best. Give it my best shot. Now, would the recipient notice? Probably not. But, and if they did, I'm sure they're not going to say, oh, look, she gave me a crappy card. Okay, now I'm going to take this. These two pieces go together like that. So I'm going to put this 1/2 inch embossed piece over here on the right, or on the left, in that little 1 inch section there. I'm going to try and make that nice and straight. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, got that. We're almost done with the mechanics of this card. Okay, come on, come on. I'm using liquid glue so I can kind of slide this into place, and it'll stick better with that particular folder. So this is the front of our card now. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to line these up again, or try to. Maybe they don't. No, these pieces got to go like this. Like this. Well, they don't quite line up. It's okay. There they go. I got it now. Whew. They should, because I took a 1 inch piece and cut it in half. All right, so let's put this over here. Now, if you like to stamp your name or something on the back, now's the time to do it before you get your focal image attached. And put all your extra stuff on. So I'm going to pull in my, what do I do with my ink pad? Oh, I'm going to pull in my ink pads, stamp my copyright up here, if I've got it out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where'd it go? Okay, well, I can't find it, so I guess I'll do it later. Should be right here, but it's not. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go ahead and finish up the mechanics of our card. So we're going to take our white 3/4 inch by 1 inch pieces, scored in half. I'm going to fold this so that the folded part is going to be to my right and the open part to the left. Then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue here. And I'm going to lay this down And in about the center, I'm going to lay this close to the score line, but not over. And I'm going to try and get it straight, which I did not. Come on, get on there. Just like that. Not that it's going to matter. Nobody's really going to see it. So this one I'm going to take, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to point that fold toward the center of the card. I'm going to put some glue on there. And I'm going to lay this just to the right of that fold. I'm going to give those good presses. And now I've got these little wingy things, okay? And what this is going to do is this is going to give our focal image a place to sit so that it can pop in and out, okay? So we're going to set this aside because we're done with that for now. Let's bring in our beautifully celebrated piece here. We're going to bring in a couple of blending brushes, some soft seafoam ink, some cloud cover ink. We're going to start with the cloud cover. This is the third largest of the beautifully celebrated layering dies. And I'm just going to take and put some cloud cover ink to represent the sky here. Okay, a little bit more right there in the center. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to put that away so I don't bury it where I can't find it. I'm going to bring in soft seafoam. Now, both of these are really light inks. So it's going to take you a little bit of effort to get the saturation of color that you're looking for. Don't get discouraged. It'll show up. I was looking for a real pale color. I didn't want anything totally strong, but I didn't want it to be stark white. So this is what we have. Now let's go ahead and take our chamois that came with the Glass Mat Studio and wipe that off. I don't want ink where I don't want it. I'm going to bring in one of my silicone mats here. And I'm going to take I'm taking this grass. I pulled this out of a retired set. So go through your sets and look and see what you have. I wanted just some plain grass, so I pulled this out of Cutest Cows. Now, you can either skip this part, and before you do that, really, I need to put my little flower, my little group of grass and flower down first. Okay, so I'm going to get this. I'm going to get my Memento black ink here. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp one set here, another set here, and another set here, so that I've got those. Then I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow and the grass, and I'm going to do random stampings. And then, so I'm stamping once, and then I'm moving it up a bit, and then I'm stamping it a second time without re-inking. Okay, just so I have some grass. And I didn't want all the flowers. I mean, you could do that with the flowers if you wanted, but that wasn't what I was going for. So I'm going to quickly color these. I'm going to take the Light Poppy Parade. I'm going to flick just a tiny bit of Poppy Parade in the center of those flowers. That's the Light Poppy Parade. And then I'm taking the dark petal pink, and I'm going to start at the outer edge of the petal and work my way in. And that'll keep that Poppy Parade from going where I don't want it to go. Okay, so we've got that. Then we're going to take the dark Bossy Meadow, and I'm going to flick a little bit of color into those flower leaves. And then we're going to go with Light Old Olive, and I'm just going to come in and add some flicks where the artist put those grass, just to make that look a little more realistic. All right, now we're going to take our mushrooms, and I'm going to do the same thing with all 4. Let's set this aside. I already did the other 3, so you don't have to keep watching. Okay, we're going to take the light and dark crumb cake and the dark petal pink and light pumpkin pie. Okay, and I'm going to start at the cap of my mushroom with my dark petal pink, and I'm going to draw myself a line here. Give myself just a little bit of shape, like so. Okay, then I'm going to take my light pumpkin pie, and I really should be on some paper here. Okay, and then I'm going to flick the darkest area here, and then I'm just going to go back, flick that just a little bit, then I'm going to come back in and blend those 2 together. Moving to dark crumb cake, I'm going to flick in some color on these die cut lines. Okay, then I'm going to go along the bottom edge here, around here with the dark crumb cake. Then I'm going to go back with my light crumb cake. I'm going to go over that dark, and then I'm going to flick in the light crumb cake. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to cover that up, the stem. Okay, and I'm going to do that with all 4 of my mushrooms. Okay, and the final touch on the mushroom is to find what I did with my, I think, Estella. And then I'm just going to, I don't want too much, so I'm just going to take and flick a little bit of color at the very top of the mushroom cap, and then where the top and the under part come together. And you probably can't see that, but it gives it just the tiniest bit of shine. And I did that with all 4. Okay, now, so we've got 4 of those. And then we've got those teeny tiny little pieces that we die cut out. So we've got the snail, and we've got a butterfly, and a dragonfly. Okay, now I've already pre-colored my dragonfly. I'm going to show you how I did that. And then I've got a butterfly for the back of my card. All right, So let's color these quickly. We're going to take a dark Blackberry Bliss and a dark cloud cover for the dragonfly. Okay, I'm going to start with the dark cloud cover, and I'm going to do that on the body. So I'm going to draw a little circle on his head, and then I'm just going to swipe down for the body. I go back with my Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to go out from the body onto the wings on both sides. And I'm just going to flick that color in there. Okay. And there is his body. Now, if it doesn't look great to you, then go back over with your dark cloud cover and blend that together if you need to. Okay, there we go. Then I'll take my Wink of Stella again, and I'm going to put in some Wink of Stella on those wings. And the last thing I'm going to do to make this dragonfly really come to life, I'm going to take a teeny tiny pen. This is a pigment liner. And I'm using it because you can see how tiny those dots are. And we don't have anything that does it that tiny. So I'm just going to take and do a dot and a dot. And now, hopefully you can see that my little dragonfly has really cute eyes. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's do our little butterfly pretty quick. And our butterfly is going to be done in oh, actually I'm not using this butterfly. I already have my butterfly done. I've got my dragonflies done, got that done, and we're going to do our snail. My dragonfly, I did outer edges in Blackberry Bliss and then pumpkin pie in the center. Did the little black line through the center for his body. Okay, let's do our little snail here, which you probably can't even see. They're so tiny. And I'm going to take just some crumb cake. And I'm going to run, I'm going to do his body, his head. And I'm going to run this down around that snail body there. Now you maybe can see it. And then I'm going to go back with my dark petal pink. And I'm going to color in the snail shell and kind of bring those two colors together. Okay, now I see that I missed a little bit of his antenna right up there on the top. I didn't go far enough. Okay, I'm going to go back here, define that body just a little bit more there. And then we're going to take that pen again. I'm going to dab in some eyes. And there we go. Now our pieces are all ready. All right, let's go ahead and put this together. Okay, I'm going to put these kind of like this. These are going to go over here like this. Like this. In fact, I'm going to take a glue dot here, put that on the back of that mushroom like that, attach that mushroom to it, kind of like that. And then these two are going to go over here. Okay. Now, in order to do that, I want a little bit of depth and dimension here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got those already down, and this is going to go down with another glue dot. But before I do that, I'm going to take a dimensional. We'll put up here on the mushroom cap and the mushroom cap. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I forgot what I was doing here. I am putting them on the mushroom cap, but I actually need minis because, come off there. All right. So I need to put, I want a glue dot on this side of my mushroom. Okay. Then I'm going to take a mini dimensional and I'm going to put it on the other side of the mushroom. Okay. This one does get it just gets popped up fully. Okay. That's just going to be fine there. Okay. So we've got that. Got that. Now I'll take another glue dot, put it down there. Oops, that's stuck. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, like so. Okay, that's down. That's good. I need to make sure that those are not over. See, I shouldn't have used a big one. Darn it. Okay. Okay, so the smart way to do this is to put my dimensional right here. Okay, so I've got that. Take my back off. Do that. Okay, this side, I just need to move a teeny tiny bit. Gosh darn it. I was almost good on that. I forgot to look for I make these mistakes so you guys don't have to, right? Just keeping it real. All right, there we go. I'll just put that down there, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll be a little smarter on the other side. That's how we want to do that. So this one I want to go down flat. I want this one to be totally flat. Hang off a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of glue here, and I'm just going to put it on the stem. Okay? Like that. And then I don't have to worry about that going off. And then with this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I want a glue dot here. Okay, so I want a glue dot there. And this one's going to stay on. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to put I'm going to roll up a glue dot. Nope, I'm just going to do this. It'll be easier. Put a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom. And then I'll put this one kind of like this. Press that side down, press this side up. And then if you look at those, you've got quite a bit of dimension. All right, let's go ahead and get our little girl on here, our little ladybug. We'll pop her up. We'll put her right here. Right there like that. And then we're going to put these on. Okay. So let's turn these over. these are going to take, this guy can go, I'm pretty sure the glue dot worked for this guy. You got to be really careful though, because the die cut has cuts in it. Okay, so if you don't get it on here quite right, like I did, just roll that up. All right, we're going to put this little snail guy right here. Ooh, but before we do that, he needs some wing Castella. Okay, got that. Then we're going to stick him right here amongst the flowers, because that's where you would find him. And then we're going to take this, roll it up into a log, stick it in the center. I'm going to put one here, and rolling that up. I'm going to take your pick tool, which I love, and then we're going to put this one up here. Yep, he's going right there. Okay, I gotta, that glue dot wants to crawl out of his head. Okay, we're gonna put that right there like that. And there is our focal image. All right, so now we're gonna bring it back in our card. We're gonna take more liquid glue on these two pieces here. Okay. And then we're going to center this up like so and press in the center. Just like that. Give that a second to dry. I'm going to take my bone folder in there. Press up a little bit. Okay, just to get that to set. And there is the main part of our card. Okay, so now we just need our sentiment. So we're going to take our strip of basic white here. My sentiment is wishing you good things, and that comes from the banner sayings. I'm going to pull out my Mossy Meadow ink. Stamp that down. Grabbing the 3 banner punch. And nope, I want it to go this way. Like this. And then just center that up. Give it a punch. This is longer than I want. So I'm just going to snip off, 1/8 of an inch. And then we'll get some dimensionals. Put that down. Turn that over. Oh, yeah, it's fine. I didn't do it exactly how I did it before. It's okay. All right, there we go. And then we just need our pearlized faceted circles here. Give me that. Let's take these. I'm going to take the petal pink right here. Take one of these. Put it up here. Take one of these over here. And then take another one. Put it down here. And that is the front of our card finished. Okay, so for the inside of my card, I took a piece that was 1 3/4 by 4. This is basic white. Stamped a happy birthday from the banner sayings in Mossy Meadow. Took another piece of that same petal pink in the Stone and Vine, and I'm going to add this to the back of my card. And then this card is finished. And now you have your pop-up diamond fold. I learned this fold from Susan Campfield. So there we go. I hope you like those tonight. And this is what I did with the envelope for this one. I took the address to you, and then I stamped in that little ladybug. And there we go. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me tonight. Sorry I ran over quite a bit, but I wanted to go over that stamp positioner tool. And oh, here. Speaking of that, do I have those right handy? What did I do with them? I moved them. Now I can't find them because I buried them. Oh, here, I wanted to show you this. So this is one of the things that I did with the stamp positioner tool. I took that line of ants and I stamped and with the little thing, and then I moved it up a little bit and did that and kept going till I had 4. And then I tried with the gears and textures. I put this at the angle and then did that, flipped it around to the other side and did it again. Okay? Anyway, just a couple of quick little things on the stamp positioner. There you go. There are our cards for tonight. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that fun fold session. And I hope to see you on Thursday night on YouTube at 7. If not, hopefully you'll be back next Tuesday night at 7. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.